What's good, YouTube? It's your boy, Blue Blood Sports TV, back at y'all with another one. Wow! So we got some interesting breaking news. Interesting breaking news that many people gonna deem possibly as ducking, as we just got word that four-division world champion, Mexican superstar boxer, who is widely acknowledged and recognized as one of the faces, if not the face of the sport of boxing, and the undisputed super middleweight world champion, superstar boxer, Saul Canelo Alvarez, who is 60 wins, 2 losses, 2 draws, 39 big wins by way of knockout. He is 33 years of age, 5'8" with a 70-inch arm reach. Canelo Alvarez is now entertaining the possibility of facing off against none other than undefeated 3-division, 2-division undisputed world champion, 3-division world champion, superstar boxer who is widely acknowledged and recognized as the #1 best pound-for-pound fighter in the world in Terence Bud Crawford. Terence Crawford is 40 wins, no losses, no draws. 31 big wins by way of knockout. 36 years of age, 5'8" with a 74-inch arm reach. Wow! I can't believe this. So, with that said, Canelo Alvarez has now narrowed down his choice of opponents for Cinco de Mayo weekend. As we know, Canelo Alvarez historically fights on 2 dates. If there's no other date Canelo Alvarez is going to fight on, you know he's going to fight Cinco de Mayo weekend, the first weekend in May. What happens to be this year, May 4th. And Canelo Alvarez also fights the second weekend in September, which is Mexican Independence Day weekend, right? So this year, it's May 4th. So now Canelo Alvarez has narrowed it down to 3 opponents. And one in which of the opponents is Terence Crawford. One in which is not the guy that everybody anticipated possibly being his opponent, is undefeated, 2-time WBC super middleweight world champion, Mexican Ecuadorian superstar boxer, David the Mexican Monster Benavidez. David Benavidez is now 28 wins, no loss, no draw. 24 big wins by way of knockout. He is 26 years of age, 6'2" with a 75-inch arm reach, right? Now, with that said, David Benavidez had the biggest win of his career, right? This past November 25th, holiday weekend. He had the biggest win of his career as he took on and defeated 2-division world champion superstar boxer Demetrius Boo Boo Andrade. And he knocked him out in the 6th round of the fight, dominated Demetrius Boo Boo Andrade. Now, everybody expected David Benavidez, who was his mandatory, to be his next opponent, right? But I told you guys, that's not going to happen. That's not going to be his next opponent, right? I told you guys, right, that possibly former WBO junior middleweight world champion, Mexican superstar boxer, Jaime Munguia is going to be his next opponent. But then now it looks like Jaime Munguia is not even going to be his next opponent. It's one of the choices. But Jaime Munguia, he decided to have a fight in January. He's going to face off against a former guy that fought Canelo Alvarez and Canelo Alvarez beat in John Ryder. So his next fight is going to be John Ryder, right? In January. So he's looking to make a good showing of himself. So that way, he can make a case for Canelo Alvarez to choose him in May. But now Canelo Alvarez has decided that he indeed is going to entertain the possibility of fighting Terence Bud Crawford. So Jaime Munguia is one of the opponents. Also undefeated 2-division world champion, reigning WBC middleweight world champion, superstar boxer, Jamal Hitman, Lions Only, Charlo, who is now 33 wins, no losses, no draws, 22 big wins by way of knockout. He is 33 years of age, 6 feet tall with a 74-inch arm reach. He made his ring return. Now, keep in mind, Canelo Alvarez's last fight in September 30th, was against Jamal Charlo's identical twin brother, who is a junior middleweight, 3-time junior middleweight world champion, former undisputed junior middleweight world champion, now still the unified junior middleweight world champion, Jamel Ironman Charlo. Okay? Jamel Ironman Charlo and Canelo Alvarez fought September 30th. He dropped Jamel Charlo in the 7th round and then won a unanimous decision. Now, with that said, that fight was supposed to be Jamal Charlo, who's the bigger of the two. Jamal Charlo was out the ring for 2.5 years. And he stated he wasn't ready. Jamal Charlo just made his ring return. Okay? And that was November 25th on the undercard of David Benavidez, Demetrius Andrade, and he fought David Benavidez's older brother, Jose Benavidez Jr., who happens to be older than him but fights at a lower weight class. And Jamal Charlo looked sharp, he looked clean, he looked accurate, he looked strong. So Jamal Charlo was supposed to be the original opponent, but he chose Jamel Charlo because Jamal Charlo was unable to go. So with that said, Canelo Alvarez, we already knew, made a statement that he was interested in fighting both Charlos. He wanted to fight and beat both Charlos. But Terence Crawford is coming off the biggest win in his career, July 29th, Las Vegas, Nevada, T-Mobile Arena, when he took on and dominated the highly anticipated undisputed welterweight showdown between himself and now former unified 3-belt WBA, WBC, IBF welterweight world champion superstar boxer Earl the Truth Spence Jr. Earl Spence Jr. is now 28 wins, 1 loss, no draws. He's 22 wins by way of knockout, 33 years of age, 5'9" with a 72-inch arm reach. He dropped Errol Spence in the 2nd round, twice in the 7th round, and stopped him in the 9th round. Dominated this highly anticipated fight. It was the most anticipated fight in the last decade. It was supposed to be on paper a 50-50 fight if there ever were one. And Terence Crawford made it a one-sided affair. And afterwards, which Terence Crawford, he stated that he wanted initially Jamel Charlo, 1 weight class up, because he wanted to be a 3-division undisputed world champion. And Jamel Charlo is the undisputed champion. But he decided to dare to be great, that being Jamel Charlo jumped up 2 weight classes and fought Canelo Alvarez. Then he got stripped of his WBO title because he didn't take on his WBO mandatory challenger, an Australian star boxer, son of a legend, Tim Tszyu. Right? Tim Tszyu is the son of Costa Tszyu. And now Jamel Charlo has been stripped of his IBF title because he didn't honor that mandatory. So he still holds the WBC and WBA. So with that said, Terence Crawford decided, initially he said, 168 is just too big for me. Then Terence Crawford, he decided, well, you know what? 168 is not too big for me. 168 is just right. Because for Canelo Alvarez, he's the perfect opponent because he's not that much bigger than me. So I could fight and beat Terence Crawford. Canelo Alvarez, because he's 5'8" with a 70-inch arm reach. I'm slightly taller, have longer arms, and he started his career. He even fought at 147, Canelo Alvarez did. So he's not that big of a guy like David Benavidez. So Terence Crawford started his campaign and started setting his sights on Canelo Alvarez and daring to be great because he understands what that does for his legacy. If he jumps from 147 to 168, fights and beats Canelo and becomes undisputed in 3 separate weight classes, beating the best fighter arguably of his era, and one is the face of the sport of boxing, in his prime, he knows what that does for his legacy. So he set his sights and focused on Canelo Alvarez. But there's only one thing, one issue. There's a major issue. He has a immediate rematch clause with Errol Spence. And Errol Spence activated the rematch clause. But he set his sights on Canelo Alvarez. And Canelo Alvarez initially stated, he's too small for me. Not really entertaining. He wasn't really entertaining Terence Crawford. But now he's entertaining Terence Crawford as a possible opponent. Now I'm going to tell you, don't get your hopes up too high. Because again, like I just stated, they have the rematch clause with Errol Spence. And he has to satisfy that before he moves on to any other fights. And if Canelo looking to fight in May, and we're heading into January, then that means that that fight is not going to happen. More than likely, it will be Jamal Charlo. Because we already heard the rumblings. And there's already a storyline. And Jamal Charlo is an easy fight to be made because they both with the PBC, that being Canelo and Jamal Charlo. And there's a storyline that he just beat Jamal Charlo's twin brother, Jamel Charlo, the revenge tour. So there's already a storyline. But the fact that Terence Crawford is even an option and even on the table for a fight for Canelo Alvarez lets you know the possibility of that fight happening down the line is extremely strong. But expect it to be either Jamal Charlo, number 1, 2, Jaime Munguia, and 3, Terence Crawford. And the reason I say that is because Jamal Charlo is easy to be made. They're on the same side of the street. Jaime Munguia is with the Zone. He's with Oscar De La Hoya. That's a little harder to be made. And Terence Crawford has the rematch clause. So in that order, Jamal Charlo, Jaime Munguia, Terence Crawford. But the fact that it's even on the table is interesting in itself. And that's all I got for y'all. Make sure you hit the like button. Drop a comment in the comment section. Let me know what y'all think. Y'all already know what it is. It's your boy Blue, Blue Blood Sports TV. Hate, like, comment, and subscribe. If you haven't subscribed, hit the subscribe button. Hit the like button. Hit the bell icon and get all the new notifications. Follow me on Instagram at Blue Blood Sports TV. All one word. So all I got for y'all. I'm gone. Peace.